Welcome to the Activated Storyteller 63rd podcast, October 18th, 2007.
This week's story is The Grateful Sparrow, a story from Japan.
Hi, I'm Dennis.
And I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Zephyr.
And I'm Libby.
And together we are the...
Activated Storytellers.
Plus one.
Plus one. Yes, we have Libby with us. We are coming to you this week from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Lancaster. You say Lancaster if you're from outside Lancaster.
You say Lancaster if you're from California.
Or a lot of other places. But I think Lancaster is the English pronunciation, and so that's how they pronunciate it.
Wow, you slaughtered that word. Okay, Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Home of Field of Screams.
Yes. And Libby has flown out here from California to spend a month with us. Hey, Libby.
Hello.
And so we're going to find out what her experience has been so far. She's been with us about a week now. Picked her up almost 2 weeks. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, we've never had a daughter for that long before.
We picked her up in Buffalo, went to Niagara Falls with her, and we've been pretty much just running from New Jersey to Pennsylvania to New York and back and forth again.
From New York to Pennsylvania to New Jersey to New York to Pennsylvania.
And this weekend and last weekend, the teens, Zephyr and Libby, were working at Field of Screams, and they're going to tell you a little bit about that, and we'll tell you about some more Lancaster attractions.
I'll tell you this, it is about a little after noon, and I actually just woke up a little while ago because we were out until 2:30. This was the second busiest night of the season. 50 people every 10 seconds. That is not an exaggeration. That is an actual statistic for how many hours straight?
It was like a conga line. It was about 7 hours.
Yeah, for about 7 hours straight. I got one break for 15 minutes the entire night, and I am proud of it.
And last night I was a footer and playing an insane person gnawing on a foot the entire night.
Now, some people may not know what Field of Screams is, so maybe you should tell them what it is.
Field of Screams is a haunted attraction. It's got 2 haunted houses and a hayride. And they've got the Den of Darkness, which is a regular haunted house, Frightmare Asylum in 3D, which is like a haunted house but 3D, and then, of course, the Haunted Hayride, which is, as the name implies, a hayride.
And this is Zephyr's third year here out of the past 4 years. Last year we were on the West Coast and spent a lot of time at Carlson Manor last year doing the haunt stuff. And Libby was there with us at Carlson Manor, too.
Which is in San Jose, California.
Libby is just, I think we may have started a tradition of Libby being with us for Halloween.
We may have. I think it did start last year, yes. In Lancaster, Pennsylvania, is also very famous for the Amish community that lives in this area. The Amish do not drive vehicles. They don't use electricity, and you can see them going down the streets in their horse and buggies.
Yes, it's actually a misconception that the Amish don't use any technology at all, but they are very slow to accept technology. They are now, for instance, using telephones, but telephones have to be outside the house. They're still not allowed to be in the house. And they do use electricity in some ways, but they don't connect to power lines. That's the major concern there. System, but they do use electrical appliances powered by battery or generator.
And we toured an Amish farm and home. The three of us Gozes have done this before, but this was Libby's first time, so I think we're going to get her impressions of the Amish farm and home.
I had a lot of ideas of how it might be like to be Amish, but it was really nice to see where they actually live and what their place actually looks like and everything about the culture.
Did anything differ from what you were thinking it might be, or did you learn anything interesting new?
Only that they really do actually use telephones. I didn't know that. And
yeah, I think we all learned that this time. I think that's a rather recent development.
Also, something else that the Amish do is they use gas-powered devices a lot rather than electricity. Air and gas are accepted means of powering things to the Amish, so they do use those.
And I found out, too, they also have like very modern sewing machines, but then they can't plug them in, so they will run them off of a generator or run them off of an engine.
They will even, for example, adapt a refrigerator to be powered by gas. So they're very ingenious in how they observe the letter of the law and yet still manage to use some fairly modern conveniences. And this tour that we took in Lancaster is an actual Amish house. It's not a house that people live in anymore, but it is a multi-family dwelling that you can tour, and it's set up, it's furnished just as it would be if people were living in it.
Right, they do give you a guided tour through the house. I think the weirdest thing about it is located right next to a Target.
Well, not only that, it's located next to a lot of businesses. I mean, it's in a little strip mall next to some restaurants and so on, and there is a Target right next to it.
And this, I might add, is about the only Target I've ever been at that has horse and buggy parking.
You step inside this Amish homestead, and you feel like you're suddenly removed from everything else all around it. You feel like you're kind of stepping back in time or stepping out into the country.
Yeah, until you look out the window and see the Target.
Much simpler life. However, yes, definitely very meshed with the modern world.
They do not use any electronic media. They don't listen to radio or CDs or watch television, but they are allowed to read newspapers, and so they do keep up somewhat with what goes on in the outside world.
Going back to their idea of transportation, the only time I had ever seen Amish families, aside from here for the first time, was when I would take the train in California back.
Were they riding the train?
They ride the trains, yeah.
One thing that I learned that I didn't really realize is that you see a lot of Amish men wear beards, and it's the married men who wear beards.
Right, and the women are not allowed to have buttons on their dresses. Their dresses have to be pinned, and not just pinned with like a safety pin, like on a baby's diaper that you use. No, it's a straight pin.
Yeah, I think the buttons are supposed to be considered decorative or something like that. But they're actually starting to get around that. Like they're working on snaps.
A lot of things about the Amish lifestyle that you may or may not think would be agreeable, that you might say, oh, I'd never want to live like that, or you might say, oh, that sounds really neat. But the one thing that I think just about everybody will admire about the Amish is their strong sense of community and family. They do not, for example, pay into Social Security because they know that they will take care of each other.
Yeah, very interesting society. And it works, and just fascinating to learn about. So we chose a story this week that I feel kind of exemplifies the theme of humility and of looking out for each other. This is a story from Japan that we call The Grateful Sparrow.
Long, long ago, in Japan, which the Japanese call Nihon, there lived a husband and a wife who were married to each other. Now, one day they were out in the country when they saw a sparrow, a little bird that seemed to be injured or ill.
Quick, step on it, get him.
You don't step on a sparrow, you step on a spider.
Oh, well, it's a nuisance. Just get rid of it.
No, it's injured. I think we ought to help it.
Why would we want to do that?
Oh, out of the goodness of our hearts?
Well, it's gnawing on a foot. Why would I want to shave it? What are we going to do with it?
Well, we could put it in the cage and we could feed it.
Fine, but you're cleaning the bamboo.
So they took the sparrow under their wing, even though the wife thought they had plenty of sparrows flying around without taking in a spare sparrow.
What do we need a spare sparrow for? There's plenty of sparrows flying around.
I don't know, but I think I'm going to name it Gus. We have our sparrow Gus.
Now, everything went just fine until one day, when the sparrow was feeling better, it got into a little bit of mischief.
Tweet, 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 tweet.
Oh, get out of here, you sparrow. Scott. Oh, Scott. Out. Oh, where's my broom? There. Whack.
And being whacked by the broom, the sparrow flew away.
I haven't seen Gus all day.
I think he got out of the window. Yeah, yeah.
So the old man took off into the woods looking for the sparrow.
Let's see, I think I need to go in that way direction.
But he realized that it'd be hard to find a sparrow in the woods because sparrows all look pretty much alike to humans. Finally, he found the sparrow.
I found you, Gus.
Tweet, 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 tweet. Yay, you found me.
Oh, man, a talking bird.
I can only talk to you.
Oh, I really am going crazy.
No, you can just hear me talk.
Well, the old man was hungry, so the sparrow shared some of its worms with him.
Want some of my worms? They're really yummy. They're kind of wiggly, but they're yummy.
Are they gummy worms?
Not that I'm aware of.
And then the sparrow, in gratitude for the old man taking care of him, gave him a gift, a choice of one of 2 baskets.
So your choice is one of 2 baskets. One is light, one is heavy.
Oh, that's okay. You can keep them. I don't need baskets.
No, you really need to take one.
Well, okay. If you insist, I'll take the lighter one. You can keep the heavier one for yourself.
Now, it didn't make much sense, of course, for the sparrow to be lugging around the heavier basket, but the old man just wanted to be generous. So he took the lighter basket and went back home.
There you are. Where have you been?
Oh, I was out in the woods. I was looking for our sparrow Gus.
Well, there's plenty of asparagus to dig up in this garden here. I've been having to do it all myself. Now, you get back here and get to work.
No, our sparrow Gus.
Yeah. You want asparagus for dinner? I'll cook you asparagus for dinner.
No, don't cook him.
What's that you got there in your hand? It looks like a basket.
Oh, that's because it is a basket.
Well, let me see that.
Oh, I haven't looked inside it yet. Here.
Why, there's a whole bunch of gold. Where did you get this? Gold and silver. Oh, we're rich. We're rich. Where'd you get this?
Well, I walked in a that way direction in the woods.
More information, please.
And then I found our sparrow Gus.
And
he gave me this basket.
well, tell me how to find him. I want a basket too.
I told you, walk in a that way direction.
Oh, very well. That way.
So she took off that way, in the direction I'm now pointing,
I need a GPS. I can't find my way around anywhere.
and she walked and walked and walked until finally...
Oh, there you are. Hey, you.
Tut.
Yeah, come here. I want a basket.
You have a choice. You have the light basket or the heavy basket.
I'll take the heavy one. I want it all. Thank you. Ha ha. I'm gonna be rich.
So the sparrow flew away, and the woman looked into her basket.
I'm gonna be rich. Huh? What's this? Why, that's not gold. It's... Oh, get off me. Don't bite me.
And she was being attacked by goblins.
Trick or treat.
Ow.
And they chased her away to who knows where. But the old man lived happily ever after because he made the right choice.
And now I can tend to my asparagus gardens.
And that's the story of the Grateful Sparrow.
Yay. Thank you, Libby, the sparrow.
Tweet.
Now she can Twitter about it.
Yeah, Twitter. Oh, Libby does Twitter. I want to talk about Twitter because I like Twitter. Twitter.com. I can type in from my cell phone, tell you where we're going, what we're doing right then and there as it's happening. So if you're interested in following us, it's twitter.com/activated. We'll get you to our homepage and you'll see some of Libby's twits on there. Oh, Zephyr did fly back. Like I said, we picked up Libby in Buffalo, New York on the 2nd. Zephyr also flew back to us on October 2nd, right after his band had a performance in North Carolina.
Yes, we did. It was completely packed house. Place was full. The band before us was playing, and there was nothing but heads. And then, of course, we walk out on stage long enough to plug in our instruments, and we turn around, and then all of a sudden there's like half the amount of people that there was, or less. But we played anyway, and Everybody who saw us said we did really well. One guy came from Virginia just to see us, and he said we made the trip well worth it. So,
Oh, not bad. A good experience.
Okay, so we have shows coming up in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut.
But these are all school shows. We don't have any public shows until January, Miami Lakes, Florida. And next week, we are heading to Salem, Massachusetts.
We're going to be there for their big Halloween celebration as we were 2 years ago. Salem's a great place to spend Halloween.
So we'll let you know all about that. Libby will still be with us.
So, happy haunting, everyone. We'll see you next time.
The Activated Storytellers perform at schools and libraries nationwide. On stage, we use American Sign Language, physical comedy, imaginative props, and a giant, oversized book to bring the stories to life. For booking information, check our website at www.activated-storytellers.com, where you can also find out when the Activated Storytellers will be performing near you. Read a story or order one of our audio CDs. Until next time.